Hi, my name is Steve Thompson, and I am a builder, a carpenter, a licensed contractor, and I guess I started working on building things when I was a kid, redoing old cars with my grandpa, restore cars, like early cars from like the teens, and I would be under the cars with him, tightening bolts, and he taught me to weld when I was 8 years old, so I started making furniture out of old horseshoes and things like that, running his lathe, and then I took over for him. Actually, I worked, built props for Disneyland for a while when I was in high school, and then I moved on. I studied science for a while. I studied physics, and it was only after that when I got back into building. When I was, I moved on to a ranch and I became the facilities manager there, and I started teaching myself how to design and build structures. It was a great scene because I didn't know a lot, but I knew more than anybody else, so I kind of had free range, and I just started staring at buildings and learning how to design, learning how to build. And right now I live and I work in a historic Queen Anne Victorian in Berkeley. It's this beautiful 3-story mansion, and I'm the caretaker there, so I do a lot of work there. I've also been getting more into fabrication, doing a lot of welding and a lot of kind of really detailed hardwork and stuff. So I kind of can do it all. I've led a lot of groups, done a lot of teaching actually. I teach a lot of people how to build, how to use tools. It's a big part of what I do.
Tell me about the one of the most interesting kind of redos when you were younger with your grandpa. What was some of the furniture you made, or some of the fabrication you did, or things like that kind of you liked?
Yeah, a lot of the work was, well, he set me off actually working on. I wanted to practice welding a lot. So we had horses, and every month the shoer would come and he would take the shoes off the horses. So over a few months I collected a ton of horseshoes, and then I took all the nails out and I buffed them all on the wire brush, like 8-year-old Steve sitting there like buffing horseshoes, and every now and then one would just fly off. And I got them all ready, and I arranged them. I designed this bench, and I welded this bench. I was sitting out in the front in the concrete with my big welding helmet. It was fun.
Tell me a little bit about your favorite build or your favorite redo. I think it was the dome or something like that.
Yeah. So. When I started working at this ranch, and my first big project was the geodesic dome that was there, and it had been there since the 70s. A bunch of hippies had built it, and then a bunch of people did a lot of stuff to it, and it was really in bad shape. It was really rotten and moldy. So they said, "Can you do it?" And I didn't know how to do it, but I said, "Yeah, I can do it." So I started working on it, and I made models, and I did drawings, and then we just went out there and we started taking it apart. It was on a trail, so everything we had to carry a mile on the trail back and forth. The whole project took a year. I was working on it with me and one other person, and it was we tore the outer shell off, we kept the structure, what was good of it, and then we actually organized a work party where we had 30 people come and lift it off of its platform, move it up the hill, and set it on like a new platform that I designed, and then just started working it back up. And it actually got some traction. I met Lloyd Kahn, who did the tiny homes books, and did a lot of like really cool picture books for buildings, and we became friends, and he liked my dome, and he's taken a lot of pictures of my work too. Yeah.
Cool. Now tell me a little bit about your mathematics and physics background, and kind of how you think that kind of comes into play with your kind of style of work.
Yeah, well, like I guess a lot of my work is very geometric centered. Like when I'm making aesthetic decisions, they're usually based on some kind of mathematical principle or something. So I did well in math when I was in high school, and then I just once I found physics, I just kind of like my world opened up. And the thing about it that was amazing, is that I use every day, because I got my degree in physics, but I don't do physics, but I use it every day, is that it taught me how to look at the world and get information from it and learn things. So since I graduated, I've been teaching myself every day how to do new things. I learned how to look at architecture and how to design and how to make furniture, all by kind of applying the scientific method to the real world, which is it's my favorite. It's an amazing way to look at the world. I really love it.
So tell me this, besides being a licensed contractor, what would you say is your ideal kind of work? Would you rather build from scratch something modern, something new, or something that's more historical and bring it back to life with a twist, or all of it? Or what do you feel where you can really, you know, strive and have that Steve vision?
Yeah, you know, when I was living at this ranch where I did all this work, I lived in this very old house that was falling down. It was kind of like, you know, it was moldy and there was like holes in the walls, but it was the aesthetic was amazing. This like worn wood, it had a lot of character, and I think it was like hugely influencing my aesthetic. And so when I work now, I work with a lot of reclaimed wood. Actually, like most of the houses that I've built, most of the stuff that I've done has been exclusively with reclaimed lumber. So it makes it a lot harder because you have to, first of all, find the wood, and then you have to do a lot of processing. You know, you pull nails out, you have to plane things, you have to get boards square, and even all the furniture that I've done, like I've made some newish like kind of Japanese joinery tables, but all with reclaimed wood, reclaimed Doug fir, because the wood is just beautiful. Like you can't find that quality of wood anymore. It's like tight grained Doug fir. It's like really, really nice. So kind of like a combination of those two things, you know, taking something old, giving a new life, taking something, you know, and then appreciating just like the craft, like as it was. You know, taking apart an old building, you see how people used to make things. You know, like this big Queen Anne that I live in now was built before people were really using a lot of power tools or any. You know, it was all done by hand. It surprises me on a daily basis how well it was made and how impeccable the craftsmanship is. So that's kind of like my roots, you know.
Awesome. All right, Steve. Well, thank you for talking with us today.
Thanks.